Good morning, gang. Happy Sunday morning. So, as we all continue on our journey preparing for whatever debacle comes in the future of the world, be it war, be it political corruption, be it economic collapse, be it invasion, be it crime, be it something simple like job loss or death in a family or something, there's always something that you look at your preps and go, okay, yeah, just in case I got this, all right, I'm okay. And maybe some people say, oh, we have a false sense of security, fine, whatever. But I can't tell you how many stories I've heard from you guys of the power's gone out, thank God I had a generator, I lost my job, thank God we have food, whatever it would be. The one that gets a lot of entertainment value but doesn't get a lot of serious thought is natural disasters. And not saying, oh my God, go out and earthquake proof your house or something, but do you have some sort of plan in case something happens? I mean, you take a look at what's gone on here in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, in the month of November around the world. Okay. We just had a 6.8 earthquake in the Philippines. uh, we had Mount Etna in Italy erupt. Okay. You guys have seen all this stuff going on in Iceland, where you got volcanic magma coming up through the ground near the town of Grindavik. So, you get those. How about the one that we probably haven't heard of because, oh my God, talking anything Russia is taboo in the media? How about the volcano that's gone off on the Kamchatka Peninsula that has a 1,000-mile long dust and ash cloud coming from it? Okay? Oh, but it's in Russia, it won't affect us. Jet streams, dust ash, 1,000 miles long, come across, you know, carbon in the air, blocking out the sun, doing whatever. You get a lot of that. These are things that have just happened this month. Okay. Now, seismologists or whatever can tell you whatever you want to hear about when they think the next big one is going to happen in the United States and Canada and Australia and Europe, whatever, wherever you are. Okay. I'll stick to the U.S., obviously, because that's where I am. We see movies all the time, that big blockbusters, the disasters, and I mean, they're usually pretty popular movies. They're great with special effects, earthquake movies or volcano movies, anything, right? Go back to last natural disaster. I'm not talking about hurricanes or tornadoes, okay? Obviously, those are, again, but I'm talking about geological ones. Go back and take a look at Mount St. Helens in 1980, okay, and what that did. You know, I was 14 years old for that one. I vaguely remember it, but Mrs. P and I were talking about it the other day, and so I went back and I watched some news clips. You can find them on YouTube. Go look at that and see what devastation it caused. Where do you live? We hear all the time about, oh, the San Andreas fault if that one goes, right? Okay. Personally, California could fall off in the ocean and I'd be happy. Okay. Uh, Yellowstone. Yellowstone could be a earth-ending event if and when that erupts. Okay. Because that is a super volcano, could decimate, not, we wouldn't have lava across the world, but if that went, you could have an equivalent of nuclear winter around the world. Okay. Are most people going to survive something like that if they're relatively close? No. Okay. Uh, but do you have an evacuation plan for it? And this is different than a bug out plan. Okay. Just like we've said many times, can you get out of your house in 1 minute? You're going to have more, unless, of course, you live right on the fault line, or unless, of course, you live right at the base of a volcano or whatever. You're going to have a little bit more than 1 minute. But what are your plans? Have you ever given thought? I mean, there's fault lines all through the United States. I mean, we don't live in the ring of fire or something, but I mean, there's fault lines that go through Tennessee here. Do you know where they are? Do you know how to get away from them? It's it's something simple, but it's something that nobody's really given thought of. And maybe some minimal thought, well, I'll get on the highway and I'll head east or I'll head west. Uh, and every other person in the country is going to think the same thing. What are the back ways? That's what you need to know. All the unprepared people are going to be hitting the highway. It's going to be gridlock, okay? You're not going to get through. So then you're going to be stuck. So do you know how to get through back roads, fields, whatever, whether it's on foot, on horseback, on car, via four-wheeler, however you can move? Do you have a plan? And I know you hear people all the time say, oh, it won't happen to me. Let's go back to yesterday's video, okay, about not happening to you. But then you get the people who are like, oh, the highways won't be that bad or anything of the sort. Sure, okay, believe that if you will. But the unprepared people who are going to panic are the ones that are going to clog up the highways, do everything. It's funny because there was a story that I read this morning that said that 33% of the United States people think they will be the sole survivor in an Armageddon, that they're so well prepared, so ready because of their survivalist skills or their adaptability that they'll be able to survive Armageddon of some sort. Okay, 1/3 of the country believes that. It's like 3% of the people have 2 weeks worth of food in their house, but 1/3 of the people think that they can survive anything because, hey, I've got great survival skills. I know how to hunt and build a tent. Cool. Okay. Yeah. Maybe you get it. But I mean, the most telling thing was when they asked people to build their ideal survival team, right? Okay. If you needed to come up with a mag, if you were to something bad happened, and this is the American public. This will tell you everything you know. In order to get through an apocalypse, this is who the American public said in interviews that they wanted to, they thought would be useful to be on their team. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, 43% of the people said he'd be a good person to have. I guess they watched the movie San Andreas and thought it was a true story. Chuck Norris, hey, there you go. What is he, 80? Okay. Superman, right, okay. 33% of the American public said Superman would be a good person to have in their mag. John Cena, yeah, there you go. There's another good one. And that was 26%. And MacGyver was 20. Another fictional character. This is the idiocy of the people that you are going to have to deal with in any sort of Armageddon type scenario. That they think fictional characters and professional wrestlers are going to be the people that will help save their butt. I'm sorry. I'll take the guy who knows his way around a garden or who knows his way around a weapon or has actually done something to learn something. I'd rather have somebody that knows how to sew than have Dwayne Johnson on my team, personally. But something to think about. There's more than just the headline stories in the news that they want to tell us about, and the ones they don't. Again, you've heard about Iceland. You probably heard about Philippines. What's gone on there with volcanoes and earthquakes and stuff like that. But I'll bet you haven't heard anything about what happened in Russia. And the one that happened in Russia has a better chance of affecting us here in North America than any of the other ones do. But guess what? We weren't told about those either. Yeah. Pinball out.